Hi everybody, my name is David Kramer. I'm a former member of the Vc Braden Tennis College staff in several countries around the world. Tom?
I'm Tom Evers, also worked for Vic in several countries around the world at his tennis colleges.
And we're here to share with you Vic's newest challenge, and it's a wonderful challenge, and it has to do with his foundation, the Junior Tennis Ambassadors, who right now are working to help at-risk inner-city youth with the problems of diabetes and obesity. We think that all of our colleagues that we've worked with before around the world are going to find a great opportunity to join Vic and assist him in this effort to find support for this great and noble cause.
Absolutely, it's an opportunity to make a difference. Vic made a huge difference in our lives, and he's tackling again. It's an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of a lot of children out there. And the great thing about it is that it's entirely tax deductible, any contributions that are received.
And so for everybody who has gotten so much from Vc Braden, it's now our chance, coaches everywhere who have benefited from the knowledge that Vic has shared. It's now our opportunity to give something back to Vic.
Hi, I'm tennis coach and researcher Andy Fitzell, and I've had the privilege to have Vc Braden as my friend and mentor for the past 25 years actually. Started here in Coto de Caza, California when I was 13 years old. And over the past 8 or 9 years, Vic and I have been doing research, 3D research, on all the top players in the world on the professional women's and men's side. And we've been sharing that information with young kids in a program that we've been doing together called Junior Tennis Ambassadors, where we've been training kids to teach other kids to be mentors. Along with that, this has moved into a program called Junior Medical Ambassadors, where we've been training kids to help other kids understand the importance of proper nutrition and helping them lead a healthy lifestyle. This has been a wonderful program, and it's really opened the eyes of many kids, and they've seen kind of the errors of their ways, and some of the things that they've been eating may not be so great. And now we've come to the point where we just need more help. You know, Vic's been working tirelessly at this and trying to get these kids really up and running in this program, but we need some funds, we need some help. So any help would be appreciated.
Well, at age 84, I've seen an awful lot in the academic arena, but all I got out of it is that there's a lot more to do. Way back in the 50s, I was a 6th grade teacher. To be a licensed psychologist, school psychologist in California, you had to have 3 years elementary school teaching experience. So I had to go back, but how lucky I was. I just really found out that young kids, 8, 9, 10, 11, can be brilliant and do wonderful things. And so it was a great lesson for me. I probably learned more than most of the kids, although we did some very interesting things. But then when I became a district psychologist for Hermosa Beach school system, one day a teacher was having behavioral issues with some kids who are ADHD. And so I used my old theory of kids becoming teachers, and I taught them how to teach each other with the same behavioral disorder. And the concentration went up about 300%. Teachers were amazed, and I was amazed, but not that much, because I had really gotten a lot of confidence in young kids. As a matter of fact, I brought my 1956, 57, and 58 classes back, 6th grade classes, back for a reunion 50 plus years later in Topanga Canyon. It was just wonderful seeing them all again, and then taking a look at what could I have done differently that would have changed their lives in a positive way, and what did I do that was very helpful. So we interviewed all the children. It was a great night, and I really missed those kids. And now they have grandchildren. So fun night. But then I started giving tennis clinics around the world, and in 2007, the Santa Ana mayor, Miguel Polito, approached me about helping young kids in Santa Ana. And I liked what he said because he wanted to do things for people from lower income brackets to get tennis lessons free. He felt that soccer was going well, other sports were going well, but the young Hispanic children weren't playing tennis, something that could help them get into college, help them play sports and stay in shape all the way into their 90s. So I was intrigued by that, and I ended up dropping out of my tennis clinics around the world to help these young kids, and especially because it's primarily Santa Ana, California is primarily Hispanic, and the Franklin Johnson, a friend of mine who became president of the USTA, said one of his major goals was to get more Hispanic children playing tennis. So I thought, well, that's perfect, especially since the mayor felt that he could get grants to help me with these educational programs for at least 10 years. Well, that was 2007, and you know what happened in 2008? The recession hit, everything burst, and that's been a challenge ever since. I didn't want to give up on the kids because the programs are going well. We're teaching the kids how to become teachers of other adults and other kids in school, and so I just didn't want to give up on them, but that cost a lot of our family's private savings and so on, so it became a very dangerous venture for me, but I've hung in there. But then I found out that Hispanic children have the highest incidence of diabetes. And being a diabetic myself, having lost an eye, having heart problems and so on for all these years, I wanted to do something for these young kids. So we turned them into junior doctors. Now I've got junior tennis coaches, junior doctors. And Principal Bill Skelly at an elementary school selected some kids who had an interest in adult medicine. And so then I got real lucky and got the services of some brilliant people like Dr. John Martinez, a dermatologist, a surgeon, and also Linda Giampaolo, who was a nutritionist, and they volunteered their time, and we spent almost a year training these young kids on the dangers of obesity and diabetes. And the program has been going so well, and the people keep telling me, well, kids won't pay attention to kids. But in every test I've done, the ambient noise is greater when the adult teacher was teaching than when the kid was teaching. The kids paid unbelievable attention to other kids. And then I had people tell me kids aren't that smart. I said, well, then why do we ask our 8-year-olds to fix our iPhone or to fix our computer? I don't get it. So anyway, they're very smart, doing wonderful things, and now this program is on its way. Now, what I got out of it was that every elementary school should have its junior doctor program. So I recorded every session, and we're making a DVD on how to activate this program in your school, in your town. And I don't think you can miss. Diabetes is an unbelievably dangerous disease, and many people have downplayed it. But I want you to listen to what Dr. Daniel Amen, the icon on PBS who does brain imaging and brain scanning. I mean, he has been such a great mentor to me. And then also Dr. Bob Langer, another dermatologist, talking about the dangers of diabetes. And the basic underlying theme is we're not paying attention. That is, one doctor said, look, when we handle diabetes, it's like we're a third world country. We're so terrible at understanding the dangers that young kids are going to face in adult life if they don't change some nutritional habits and exercise habits. And I'm a perfect example of that. So anyway, I think that you'll like what we see with some young kids. And when they come into the room, there's strict attention paid to them.
That diabetes is a disaster. Yeah. That what happens is diabetes, high blood sugar, it erodes blood vessels. And blood supplies every single organ with nutrients. And if you erode the food supply, things start to die. Blood vessels also become brittle, so they're more likely to break. So people can have problems with their eyes, with their heart, with their brain, with their blood pressure. And it's a disaster, and it's a growing disaster in large part because obesity is going up. 2/3 of us are overweight, 1/3 of us are obese, and with diabetes skyrocketing, all sorts of illnesses. So I do brain imaging, and what we found is people with diabetes have lower overall blood flow to the brain, which means they're not going to end up being as smart or as sharp as they could be if they don't get it under control. And diabetes is personal to me. My father-in-law was diagnosed at the age of 55, and I just never could get him to take it seriously. He still went after the coffee cake and cinnamon rolls and donuts, and he ended up losing his eyesight, and then one leg, and then the other leg, and had a heart attack, and then developed dementia. And this is not something to play with. It's something that's very serious.
As many of you are probably aware, obesity is a major problem in our society. And one of the risks of chronic obesity, beginning even in childhood and adolescence, is the development of diabetes. And diabetes is not just a blood or a sugar disease. It can cause nerve damage and blood vessel problems, which can lead to potentially loss of extremities, loss of arms and legs. It can also affect the eye, and we've had a number of patients who've gone blind because of poor control of their diabetes. So it's always important to start early with good diet, good habits, and exercise.
The junior medical ambassadors call themselves doctors, and they appear pretty official in their white coats. After the junior doctors make their presentation, there's a test given to the student listeners, and Principal Bill Scully announces the test.
Before our presenters present, he said, this is how I'm going to grade them. Just like I graded Miss Ortega, every time she's done with a lesson, the way she determines how the lesson went is we find out what you learned from the presentation. So everybody has in front of them a copy of the test. Can you put your hands on it? Can you look at it? And the title of it is Diabetes and Me.
A healthy lifestyle is good for everyone. Let's start now. Be well and be well. Junior Medical Ambassadors.
The Junior Tennis Ambassador Program is a group of young kids who become coaches, and they provide the exercise component for this program. So we identify those kids who are obese, and we track their nutritional changes and what kind of weight changes have there been in the obese children. So anyway, they play a major role. Plus, they're really talented. We've got 9-year-olds coaching adults, and they're very good, and they present scientific data.
From research, we found out that a baseball pitcher gets more hand speed when they make the upper arm turn 180 degrees.
On the one-handed backhand, think of your knuckles going towards the target for as long as you can.
Make sure you keep your head still while serving. When you drop your head too early, it changes your racket angle.
You get a basic idea of what the program's all about. We're hoping this program will run about 10 years. Now, when I'm out of the picture, Andy Fitzell, who's worked with this program for several years now, will take over. But we've got people who really care about this program and who really want to make major changes. And so it's very important, too, that I get a message across. I'm not asking coaches or other friends to donate unless they're wealthy and they want to. I'm merely asking, do you know somebody? Because I don't know somebody who knows people who are in the granting business, and there's a foundation that really cares about diabetes. And also, I'm going to be transferring some energy now to junior arthritis. I'm on the board of the Arthritis National Research Foundation, and there are 300,000 young kids who have arthritis. So I've got my work cut out for me for the next few years, that's for certain. But there's so much to do and so many good things, and we want to really make a provision for all young kids to maximize their sports, their enthusiasm, and if they can't play, to be involved on some level, even if it's just using their brain to help us coach. Anyway, thanks for your consideration, and just let me know if there's anybody I can contact. And the information on the 501c3 is listed below. But I sure hope to hear from somebody. It would really kill me to have to kill the program. It's just too good. It belongs in every school in the nation. That's my goal.